Hi, I'm Josh, a co-founder of Woodland Mills, and this is our full-length product video of the WC68 PTO driven wood chipper. In these full-length videos, we'll start with the tractor compatibility, and then we'll head into an in-depth product walk-around to show you all the features that come standard with the WC68. Beyond that, we'll look at the assembly process, the crate weight, sizes, and dimensions, and then we're also going to touch on the delivery process before taking it out in the field and the forest and putting it to work. For compatibility, the WC68 was designed to work with tractors with between 20 and 50 PTO horsepower. And because of its weight at over 740 pounds, confirming that your tractor's 3-point hitch assembly can lift it will allow you to move it around on your property. For the tractor's connection, we have a Category 1 3-point hitch that's quick attach compatible. And then the upper pin, we have 2 locations to best suit it to your tractor setup. We include a PTO shaft that is both shear pin protected and trimmable in length, so you can match it to your tractor once you have the chipper installed. We also have safety chains, which allow you to keep the outer sheath stationary during use. The PTO shaft gets connected to your tractor's PTO output, and then here to a 6-spline connector on the chipper's main shaft. Because the WC68 is a direct drive wood chipper, once the PTO shaft is connected to the tractor, it's going to bring all your tractor's torque and horsepower directly to the chipper's 2-inch main shaft here through this 6-spline connector. That main shaft carries the flywheel and brings that power right to the cutting blades. You'll see here we use a BX series drive belt to run our hydraulic pump. This makes the pressure for our self-contained hydraulic infeed system. To keep that belt tensioned, we use a spring-loaded, self-adjusting tensioner for ease of use and maintenance. Next, I want to open up the clamshell and show you the flywheel and the main shaft that holds it. With the clamshell open, we can now really see that 2-inch main drive shaft. And we can also see the 4-bolt flange bearings, both front and back, that hold it. On those flange bearings, we have Zerk fittings for maintenance. Bolted to that main shaft is our flywheel, 24 inches in diameter and 3/4 of an inch thick. The flywheel is both CNC machined and then dynamically balanced to ensure smooth operation. Bolted to that flywheel, we have 4 blades. Our blades are reversible, so you have a leading cutting edge as well as a secondary cutting edge for when you dull the first one. Welded to the back of the flywheel, you'll see our paddle assemblies, which are spinning at the tractor's 540 RPM and creating the airflow and throwing the chips out the discharge chute. Also in the flywheel, you'll see a series of 4 holes, and they align with a locking pin that's just going to let us lock that flywheel for when we're servicing the chipper or changing those blades. Next, I want to talk about our self-contained hydraulic infeed system that doesn't require any hydraulic connections to your tractor. At the base here, we have a hydraulic fluid reservoir. And from here, the hydraulic pump draws the fluid and creates the pressure that is then fed through the directional control valve. The directional control valve is connected to the red bar. And with that, you can do either a forward to bring the material into the chipper, a neutral, which will stop the infeed roller, or reverse, which will bring the material back out of the infeed. In the forward position, we bring the fluid through a flow control valve. And with positions 0 through 6, it's going to help you match the material being fed into the chipper with the available horsepower of your tractor to make the most efficient process possible. Beyond the flow control, the fluid comes into our hydraulic motor. The hydraulic motor is directly connected to the 8-inch diameter infeed roller of the chipper. On the outside of the infeed roller, we have chisel-edge knives welded to it. They provide the bite to climb up over the material and draw it into the chipper to present it to the flywheel. The infeed roller and hydraulic motor assembly are mounted to a pivoting swing arm. And to keep the pressure down on the material being fed into the chipper, we have galvanized springs on both the left and the right of that swing arm. As we come around to the back of the wood chipper, we're going to see a large infeed opening. And at 26 inches high and 27 inches wide, we have a large area to capture those branches. Around the outer rim of that infeed, we use a 3/4 inch thick solid steel bar to add rigidity, also soften that leading edge as the branches are pulled into it. You'll see our red control bar, which gives us our forward, neutral, and reverse actions. The whole infeed chute is foldable. To fold up the infeed chute, we're going to start by releasing the 2 draw latches on the bottom. Then we're going to put the control linkage off the directional control valve and into the fold up position. Once folded, it's going to rest here on this rubber pad. In the fold up position, it's going to be much smaller for storage in your garage or shed. And it's also going to help you when transporting behind your tractor through tight trails in the forest. With the infeed chute folded, we can now see our clear debris curtains, which stop debris from coming back at the user. We can also fold them up and get a clear view of the infeed roller, which is going to be climbing up over the branches and feeding them down to meet with the flywheel. Now I want to come around to the other side of the chipper and go over the features on this side. On this side of the wood chipper, we're going to see the other side of the swing arm assembly. We have a 2-bolt flange bearing with a Zerk fitting for maintenance, which is carrying the other side of the infeed roller shaft. You're also going to see the second galvanized spring that's keeping pressure on that infeed roller. Below, we're going to see the fill cap for the reservoir tank. And then above that, we have our manual tube where we keep the instructions, assembly, as well as the hardware required for assembly. Next, I want to talk about the bed plate. The bed plate provides a stationary edge, so when the blades on the flywheel come around, it gives that second edge to make the cut, similar to a pair of scissors. The bed plate is adjustable to account for both blade wear and resharpenings. And because of that, we provide a window to give you a clean line of sight to see that gap between the blades and the bed plate. Further to that, we provide a tool to help you set that gap, and you can find that tool here in the manual tube. Next, I want to close up the clamshell and then talk about our discharge chute. The discharge chute is 360 degrees rotatable, and it gets locked in place with an indexing pin. At the end of the discharge chute, we have a chip deflector, which is going to let you place the chips close to the chipper or further away, depending on your needs. Because the WC68 comes 90% assembled, give yourself around 2 hours to get it out of the crate and fully assembled like we see here. That assembly process consists of components of the 3-point hitch linkage, as well as installing the discharge chute, and then assembling and installing the foldable infeed chute portion. To finish the assembly process, you'll be filling the hydraulic reservoir with hydraulic fluid that you can source locally. The instructions for assembly, as well as all the hardware required, can be found here in the manual tube. The WC68 is shipped in an iron crate. The crate is 44 inches wide, 44 inches high, and 34 inches deep. And because of its shipping weight at over 860 pounds, it's going to be shipped by a transport truck with a power tailgate service to get it down to the ground for a curbside delivery where available. Now that we've shown you all the features that make up the WC68, it's time to hook it up to a tractor, get it outside, and let's put this chipper to work. I want to start with just a quick recap of what we've been using the WC68 for. So in the back clearing there, we were doing kind of 3 to 5 inch poplar. You'll see some of them I was cutting in half to make it a little easier to load. Other ones I was able to feed the entire tree, and that self-contained hydraulic would just draw that tree right in. Then we moved up into a white pine plantation that I've been doing the thinning of the boughs and the dead limbs across the bottom. And I was putting those in larger bunches. We also had some taller white pine, a little larger in diameter, that were still green. We fed those through. We also had some shrubs and bushes with a lot of bushy leaves on them. We wanted to show how the gray bar really pulls that in and shows you how it gets fed through the chute. I really just wanted to take you and show you various material that can be fed through the WC68 and how it's going to perform once you put it on your tractor and put it to work. I hope you've enjoyed this video of the WC68 PTO driven wood chipper. This has been Josh with Woodland Mills. Thanks so much for watching. And for any other information, please check us out online or give us a call. Thank you.